Hello, this is Nadia, and I'm gonna be creating this YouTube video because I am starting a challenge. I am starting the 100 videos in 100 days challenge. And I was very hesitant. A very big part of me was like, you cannot do that. You have, things to do, you have, family stuff, you have, yeah, just all the things. And so I was in my heart saying no, but a very dear friend and mentor, Glow Tanmo, really encouraged me and gave me the push and the little kick I needed to just go ahead and share my story and talk to the one person that needs to find me and hear about what I've done and how I've overcome challenges and how I've kind of learned lessons and risen above obstacles. And so, long story short, I'm Nadia, and I, at 35 years old, moved my family to Bali, Indonesia. And so it was my husband and my eldest son at the time. And since then, we've had a little baby girl who was born here in Southeast Asia. And so we have just been on this crazy adventure trying to learn new things together, to figure out life. And there's been some amazing highs. There's been some travel, some really special moments that we've had as a family, but there's also been some challenges, some low moments, some obstacles, whether it's from visa things to lots of paperwork, which I really hate, and even just things that we've had to navigate as a Black family from an island who is now living on the other side of the world in a Southeast Asian island. And so it's been an adventure, and I want to share about all of that. And so this first video, I'm going to be sharing a little bit about why I am changing direction, why I want to talk about different things, and what 2026 is hopefully going to hold for me, because I think this might be my first video in 2026, or maybe I did one other one. And so I hope you enjoy it. I hope you will let me know in the comments if you have any questions about being a wife and a mother relocating to a different part of the world, and how to talk to your spouse, and how to integrate your kids, and how to support them at different parts of their journey as well. And so I'm really excited to share all the ins and outs. And just like I said, let me know in the comments if there's something that you want to know more about, if there's information that you can't find easily, or you just want to hear a firsthand experience of what we've gone through and how hopefully our journey and our story can help you and support you on your way. So if you see me looking across, it's because I have some questions on my laptop and I just want to go through the questions. This is not scripted. This is literally just me talking imperfectly with all the ums and likes to this camera, to you. But I want to just go through some questions and have sort of a structure to this chat. So, number one, what has this recent season revealed to me about what actually matters right now? And so I would say so far this year, I've had to do a little bit of a nervous system reset. And I'm probably going to delete my last two videos, but for those who don't get a chance to see them, they were literally about me trying to figure out my way after losing an income, losing a source of income, and just trying to pivot, because AI has really taken over the writing space. My background's in journalism and PR and communications. And although I loved that direction and sharing with you all the highs and lows of that rebuild, I also wanted to just focus on specifically the adventure that we've had out here. And so for me, I've had to do a lot of nervous system I've had to do a nervous system reboot, because I was kind of in a desperation state. I was kind of in a state where I was scared of the future and panicking, and I've had to really heal and start to go back to church. That's one of the big things that's helped me this year, is really not just making church something I do once in a while, but having it be something that our family does every Sunday, where I'm praying more often, reading books that have to do with faith and God, and growing in my spirituality, growing in my faith. And so that's really been where I am. That's really been something that's so close to my heart, because I'm just a girl trying to figure it all out, but I really want to do it with God. I really wanted to come back to God in a way, because I had felt so disappointed by things in life. I had felt like He had kind of abandoned me in some of my old dreams and visions that I had tried to build and set up. And I'll go into that in another video. If you hear my husband, he's just creaking around the house. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to so far this year, is the nervous system reboot, just calming my nervous system. I went to one therapy session. It was really, really awesome. I have, like I said, gone back to church consistently almost every single week since we've been back. We missed one Sunday because we were in Thailand with our family for my son's football tournament. But I would just say that it's just been different. I would say I was really cautiously accepting God, or cautiously moving with God. But I feel like this year He's really just been teaching me a lot about surrender, teaching me about the reality is that if you try to make sense of religion with your head, it's going to be really hard to rationalize, to put everything together in this neat box, because there are controversies in the church. There are things that are always going wrong in this world. There are people that say they're Christian but do not act like they're Christian. But then if you actually, instead of making it a head thing, make it a heart thing, that's when you start to experience the real transformation. And God has been opening doors so far this year. So I have been given an opportunity to do some work, which is really, really incredible and really, really fun. And just all in all, it's been a slow but beautiful time to just get resettled into a routine that I love with exercise, but then just, yeah, getting back into work, doing things that I love, using my skills, and just having a way forward. I think I felt really directionless or utterless last year, and I was really confused. One of the things that I realized was that I was literally, because I was so confused, I was throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. I was creating YouTube videos on every single thing under the sun, and by the end of it, although it started out really fun, by the end of it, I felt really depleted. I felt really confused because I didn't really feel connected to some of the things that I was talking about. And so this is me just giving it another go. This is me trying to speak from the heart, to not edit myself, to not use the script and take out all of the filler words and things that make me sound a little silly, but just trusting that there are people who are going to hear my story and are going to care about what I have to say and understand the journey that I've been on with my family. So originally we're from Bermuda, and one of the biggest questions I actually get is why I moved from one small island to another small island. And so I'll go into that in detail in another video, but I would just say that for us, this has been just a chance to be intentional with our lives, a chance to figure out what it is that we want. We figured out sometimes the hard way, things that we don't want, but we've also been able to figure out things that we do like. We have a home that we're sitting in right now that is beautiful, and we're turning that into a place where our kids can grow up and our kids can make memories. But there's just so much that's happened. So anyways, all of that to say that I have so far gotten clarity. I have so far really done like a nervous system reset and tried to calm my nervous system down and just be hopeful about the future again. And I would say the third thing that I've also worked through is just going back to church, going back to God with my heart and not my head. And so that has made a really, really big difference. And I hope that I can take this new clarity forward with me into these videos. I hope that I find my tribe, my community of people who also want to relocate and who know what it's like to be from a really small place, a small island, a small town, but they want to make the move and relocate internationally. I am definitely your girl, and I've done it, and we've learned a lot of hard lessons along the way, but we're here and we're still standing. So next question, before I ramble on too much. What kinds of connections have I been building, and why do they feel different? So I had the most amazing opportunity to meet some new people and to connect with or reconnect with a woman who has literally changed my life. And this is going to sound like a testimonial for Glow because she's incredible. But if you don't know who Glow or Gloria Atanmo is, then I really hope that you'll check her out on YouTube or look at her social media. She posts on Instagram and Facebook mostly, and I think on Threads as well. But she is just this incredible light. She has been literally risking it all since day one to just live the best life possible, to literally make sure that every single idea and dream she either brings to fruition or has peace because it was not the path for her. And so I've just literally been so astounded and inspired by her. I met her back in 2016. I was in Israel taking a little sabbatical from work, and I met her. She was staying in a hostel that I was volunteering at, and she was the first Black woman travel writer that I'd ever met. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna talk to this girl. I sat down with her. I think she was eating breakfast. And ever since that day, I have literally been like, wow, I have an example now of a dream that's literally manifested because she is walking it out. She's getting paid to do this full time. And so that was always one of my dreams, but I was the type of person, I didn't act on it. I like I said, I was a journalist, but I didn't quite act on the travel writing portion of my dream. And so I just didn't know how to connect the dots. And she literally has been like a compass for me, which has been really, really incredible. And so I would say that meeting up with Gloria in the last week and meeting these two other amazing souls. I met Chelsea, who's from Haiti, and I met Nicole, who's from the US Virgin Islands. And it was seriously just so much fun, so incredible. We literally were probably only together, awake for maybe, I don't know, 8 to 10 hours max, but we fit so much into that time. There were so many meaningful, deep discussions. I felt like I was leaving with two new sisters. And I think that's super important for me in this phase right now. I feel like we know a lot of people, but I feel like some of the relationships that I have right now, especially as a mom, we do school drop off or after school activities. While I love a lot of the parents, and I have a few that are quite close with me, I would say for the most part, they're very surface level conversations that we have. We don't really know anything deep about each other. There's very little time for those discussions, or there's very little opportunity made for those deeper discussions. And these women, Nicole and Chelsea and Glow, everything was deep about everything that we did. We had a painting portion of the night where we had to think about someone who was kind to us and someone who showed a moment of kindness and just that gratitude. And so anyways, it was just so rich and so meaningful. And it left me feeling completely overflowing. I have so much to give. I'm in such a beautiful place if I actually stop and take a moment to, instead of complaining, to actually be grateful for all of the beautiful things I have in my life. And so anyways, I want to create some of this content out of that overflow because it was just such a beautiful experience. And I think that you need to have community. It was just a real reminder that we need to have women who look like us sometimes, but even just more importantly than people that look like us, people that understand where we come from and value us and see us as valuable. And so that was so rich, and I'm so excited. We actually started a group chat, so that's going to be really, really cool to be able to follow up with these girls and just continue our relationship and to continue to learn from them, because they were both so, so inspiring. They were in tune with the Holy Spirit or God, or, I think that they believe different things, or one of them does. But yeah, I just think that it was just such a beautiful experience, and we just see things in a similar light, in a similar way, and we can learn so much from each other. And so I'm gonna answer one more question because this video is going a little bit long. Where do I want this content to go in 2026, and who am I really speaking to? So in 2026, at least the start of it, I want my content to speak to women who are like me, who maybe, like I said, are from a small part of the world, who are from a place that even if it's not geographically small, it feels small. It feels like it is robbing them of their joy. It feels like it is draining their energy. I really do believe that your environment is so, so important. A healthy environment where you can thrive, a healthy environment where you feel aligned to people around you, where you feel supported by people around you, where you can also be of value and just pour into people around you. I think that's so, so crucial for our well-being, our mental health, our overall health. I remember literally spending years not exercising in Bermuda, and I was always a thin person, but I didn't really have a lot of extra motivation other than like doing the things I had to do to survive. I remember, you wake up, you maybe get breakfast, you go in your car, you drop the kids off to school, you get to work, you put in a day's worth of work, grab lunch somewhere in between, and then you're back home again. And it's like this cycle of monotony and boredom. And I just knew that wasn't for me. I knew that, and I've always known that. If I'm being completely honest, I've always known that I want a life that feels like I'm being intentional, that I'm writing my own story, that I'm co-writing my story with God, that I am awake and alive and present and actually experiencing these things in real time, and being intentional about choosing the right path for me, because no one path is right for everyone. We all have a different path. We all have things that light us up in different ways. And so I think I've just always known that I want to travel, that I want to learn about new cultures, that I want to experience life in different cultures. And being from Bermuda, which is extremely small, it's 21 square miles from one end to the other, and there's 60,000 people. And being from this island, it is so, so beautiful. And I love my community so, so much. I love my family so much. But there were aspects of this culture that were so exhausting to navigate. And I think it's the same for many, many small places around the world. It's not unique to my island. It's just because there's so few people, there's like this gossip culture, and there's this spirit of judgment, and there's this pressure to conform, and all of these little things. And anyways, I had to make the call, and I'm thankful that my husband was on board, and I'll talk you through that in another video. But I had to make the call that I was not going to sit in that environment. I was not going to watch myself die in that environment or wilt in that environment. I felt sometimes like a flower, and I was just not growing. I was, like I said, I was just, kind of like limp and just didn't have the right things around me that I needed in that particular season. And one day I very well might return to Bermuda. I think it's something that me and my husband talk about even now. But in this season, we are being intentional about our lives. We are exercising more. We are drinking our coconut water. We are just living. And I have learned how to pour into myself in this season. I've learned about the importance of self-care and taking care of myself and feeling my best so that I can go out and shine my light in all different aspects, within my family, within my marriage, within, my community as in general. So long story short, that's exactly where I am. And I'm going to share with you about the highs and lows of life in Bali, life in Southeast Asia. And I'm really excited to hear. If you have any questions, just let me know. And so I'm excited to share with you more in 2026. I'm excited to, I think, share in a different way. I'm excited to share in a way that's not just focused on the thumbnail and the algorithm and all the things that we need to know, all the things that were ticking in my head before, and just literally share from the heart and pray that I just am able to find the people that need to hear my story, that need to hear my message, and to give them tips and resources about what we did that helped and how we were able to overcome fears and manage our finances and build our finances and all of these kinds of things. Even just with the kids, how we were able to find a school when that school wasn't the right fit, how we're deciding to pivot. There's just so much to go into. The pros and cons of moving with a family, I think I'm going to touch on that at some point as well. And so I am really looking forward to it. I feel like there's lots of things I can talk about, as I've been here in Bali for 3.5 years now. And so yeah, it's been an adventure. So I look forward to sharing more. I look forward to sharing the unedited version of me and this vlog, what do you call this? YouTube, these videos. So I am excited to hear more about you. Let me know in the comments. Are you someone that desires to relocate? Where are you from originally? And where do you dream of going? Is there a place that's on your heart, be it in Europe or Asia or Africa or anywhere? Just let me know in the comments. Okay, talk soon.